sold him a house. I did. Coach Grant, I went with his wife. His wife took me to Israel for 2 weeks, December. I have a relationship with these people. You know, it's just, that's just, you know, what it's allowed me to do. I don't spend a lot of money advertising myself. My Keller Williams business. I just serve in the community with that. And I do a lot on social media. So whenever I came in here, I checked in because all of the people, and I'm older, I'm 35, I'm 36. So a lot of people in my age group, they have kids and families and stuff like that. So I'm doing a lot of stuff on social media that I'm living my life basically, but I'm checking in purposely. I'm not gonna, like if I leave here and I go to Jimmy's and drink beer, which I probably will do, I'm not gonna go and check in to Jimmy's. You know, because people that want to do business with me don't want to see that I'm going to Jimmy's to drink beer. You know, they want to see that I'm came to speak to young people at Texas State, or that I did whatever, you know. Took my son to watch the Lego movie, which was awesome, by the way. How are we doing on time?
So where's the majority of your business coming from? Does it come from your college student, or is it coming from more of the selling the house?
I make more money from selling real estate than I do in any other business. I did it. My 1099 from Keller Williams was, I'm not saying this to brag, I'm just to give you an idea, was $975,000. Great Locations, my revenue at Great Locations was $650,000. That was my revenue, doesn't include my expenses. So, me being a realtor and having a real estate, selling houses, for me is a lot more profitable.
Are you paying normal realtor rates? You don't have to do the Great Location rates, but it's just a referral?
No. So what I do with Keller Williams is completely separate from Great Locations. Keller Williams allows me to operate my other businesses. They don't have any, problem with it. No compliance issues. So anything I do through Keller Williams, a realtor gets paid 3% of the home price, and so the average home price in this area is about $200,000. So for every house that I sell, I make about $6,000 through Keller Williams.
When did you do your business plan? I know you said it was like right after college.
I was a senior at Texas State whenever I started Great Locations. Great Locations and Great Tanza started at the same time.
So did you do it with like a class, or you just did it on your own?
I did it on my own. Yeah. Yeah, it's important to have, put a plan together. If I had to do it all over again, I would have, I love that I was able to start businesses. I love what I experienced, but I would have made so much more money if I would have went straight and worked for the man for a little bit. But I've always been self-employed. And that's kind of all I know, but I could have made a lot more money going to work for someone else and not have any of the headaches that I went through. I mean, I spent the first 3 years of owning that damn tanning salon. I washed towels every freaking night, like 5 loads in my house. Glad I sold that business. What else? You have more questions?
So why did you choose to go into real estate in the first place?
I was a senior in high school, and I went to work for my girlfriend's mom's boyfriend was a real estate broker, and so I went to work for him, running errands, just doing this odds and ends for him, and I saw his lifestyle and loved it. So being a realtor is very entrepreneurial. You're creating your own business. Being an insurance agent is very entrepreneurial. You have your own business. There's a lot of sales jobs out there. Like Grant said, a lot of entrepreneurial type jobs is you're selling something, a service. So any type of business like that you can get into, and you know, sales jobs have unlimited earning potential for the most part.
Okay.
Okay?
I mean, everybody's so quiet. I have more questions about my business,
Okay?
unless everybody else has more questions. So Facebook is an awesome alternative. I actually know that you could select your own demographic on that, because even though I belong to the generation, I'm not really Facebook savvy. But other than Facebook, what other ideas do you have?
I think Facebook will give you so much business that you don't need to do anything else. I mean, you only have, it's time, you only have so many hours a day. No one else is gonna be advertising that really, so your cost per impression is what, so on Facebook advertising, you can either do cost per click, which is when people actually click on your ad, or cost per impression. With what you're doing, the cost per click or cost per impression are gonna be pennies. It'll be very, very cheap for you to advertise that way. It's probably the best use of your money that you can possibly get, and it's gonna fill up your schedule. Because you might get to a point where you can employ other students to teach and,
Oh, I already am at that point.
okay, so, well, good for you. But that would be your best way, and then word of mouth among parents. You know, moms talk to each other.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you can be service level.
Oh yeah, besides maxing out credit cards initially, do you have any other, like, how would you raise capital if we were to start today, to initially start your business? Besides like having great credit,
I would have saved my money.
save money,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, so that's the bad thing about us entrepreneurs. We want it now. We have our vision, we have our idea, and we just want to do it, you know, and sometimes just doing, that's why most businesses fail. Because most of us that have that idea, that passion, we get out there and do it, and we run out of money, you know? And I mean, I was just lucky. I was lucky that I survived it. Most businesses don't survive it. I mean, that's a fact. Even a lot of franchises fail. And that's, you know, that's why a lot of people get into, you know, a franchise, because there's a model and their possibility for success is more likely. And a bank will actually loan on a franchise a lot of times. For me, it's just, you know, the bank wasn't gonna loan me money. So.
One more question.
What advice would you give for somebody going into real estate? Like, what area of study would you recommend, or is it just like you mentioned about working for the big man and having like a good mentor?
I don't understand your question.
Like, what advice would you give to somebody wanting to go into real estate? Like,
Oh, into real estate?
yeah.
Well, into real estate, you're going into business for yourself from the get-go. So you have two different ways to get into real estate. You can either go to work for a team or someone that is going to give you opportunity, give you leads, give you business. So like if you were to come work for me, I'm doing all this community work and I'm spending all this money in different areas to give you the opportunity to work with buyers. So that's probably what I would recommend to someone starting off, is to go to work for someone that has a pretty successful real estate business established already and can give you leads. The other alternative is just hitting it hard yourself, and if you have a family that can bankroll you, well, it takes probably a year to get established in real estate if you work it like a full-time job. The bad thing about being a salesperson or working for most organizations, like most real estate companies, there's no one's telling you when to show up to work. It's really all about you. And so that's why most people fail at real estate and insurance and life insurance, because no one's really telling you when to be there. They'll give you advice on, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that, but because of the way that you're paid in that business, you're paid as an independent contractor, they can't, by tax law, tell you to show up at 8 o'clock every morning.
Thank you so much.
If anyone wants to wants to ask me more questions, or if you want to engage with me online, Jason Tarr. I'm on Facebook, of course, like I've said. Add me as a friend. You know, if you have any questions down the road, you have a business idea, you want me to invest in a business that you have, I am interested in. I do invest, mostly in real estate, but I would invest in a business if I thought the idea was right. Add me as a friend. I'm always around. I'm in San Marcos every day, so if y'all need anything from